Welcome to another episode of in 90 Minutes Podcast. I am your host, David Valentin, welcoming you guys. And alongside yours truly, we have John. John, how you doing?
Good. What's up, David?
Good, my friend. Hopefully, you had a great week. And we have a guest this week to join us as Brian's still dealing with some personal issues. Jonathan, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Fantastic. So, all right, my friends. So first, I want to thank everybody for there's 8 people live. We appreciate you showing up live. We'd like to remind everybody that now we're on audio version in all major podcasting apps. I know there's following of the podcast that rather have the audio version so they can enjoy the show at work or when they work out and all that type of stuff. And also we have added a page on Facebook is a 90 Minutes Podcast. So right now we are live on Twitter, live on YouTube, and live on Facebook. So you can enjoy us throughout those 3 platforms. So thank you very much for everybody joining us tonight. So friends, we had a busy week when it comes to Orlando City. Orlando City went out to Monterrey, Nuevo León State in Mexico, to play Tigres on a 0-0 result that saw a lot of action. And to me, friends, it was an opportunity for our club to showcase what we're all about. So let's start with that, guys. Let's start with the fact that we went out and we did our thing outside of the confines of the United States and Canada. So John, let's start with you first. How you felt we did in our first foray in CONCACAF Champions?
Yeah, it was honestly a little bit better than I was expecting. Showed a little more attack, a little bit more attacking. Looked a little bit better than we'd looked in our previous 2 matches. Came away with a potential with the tie. Almost got a couple goals there, which was good to see, but we did get very lucky to fit the tie. Duncan McGuire got a goal in purple.
All right, my apologies. It seems like
Basically the same old.
John is having some issues there, so I apologize for that. But no, we got the gist, John. So Jonathan, opinions about Tigres away.
So it's really interesting when we were playing the game. I think a lot of us were very much on edge. Because it's Tigres is a very good soccer team. They're ranked 2 in their league. They're very close to getting into first place, and they've been in this for so long. We held up way better than I think a lot of the fan base expected.
Mm-hmm.
And it really shows where our defense is from the past. If there was one thing that I noticed that was big is, and maybe more than I do, in the past, when we come out of this into the second half, the 45-minute to the 60-minute mark, we have been notoriously giving away a goal in that time frame, and we haven't done that actually all season so far. And this defense probably is the best looking defense we've had in a very, very long time, especially with who's not starting, like Antonio Carlos, and Robin's working with other people. But it's gelling together in our defense. Obviously, our attack has some moments that I think we finally got a chance to see. This individual talent from each of our attacking players, which really brought something to the table, which I think was excellent for us because it does show that we have the capability. The only thing that I think we all can definitely agree on is this team needs to, and the attack and the midfield need to gel better and work as a team collectively rather than just individual talent trying to go through. So very impressed, very, very impressed and proud of the boys the entire way. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. John, anything to add to that?
No, just same old, professional. We've gotten used to seeing that the last 2-3 years now.
No, absolutely. I will agree with you. I was, to be quite honest with you, it's CCL is a tournament where scoring goals matters.
Yeah.
And if you look at what's going to happen this Wednesday, for us to move forward, either we have to end up 0-0 and go to PKs and let the magic of the PK rounds work itself out. We have not lost a PK round in the history of our club, but there's always a first, friends. There's always going to be a first, and I have said this many times to fans and friends alike, that one day it's going to hit us at the most inconvenient time. Aside from that, I think. Aside from that, so we have to win. We have to win the game. We just have to win the game in order to move forward. The reason for that is because if the game ends 1-1, or the victory or the pass goes to Tigres because they're scoring away. So away goal rule applies for CCL. Personally, I'm really don't like the rule, but it's what it is. You got to play with what you have. And this is an opportunity for us. All eyes are on us. I can tell you the Mexican press, all the major shows, Mexican ESPN, those guys are going to be watching this. Tigres is a great club. They lost over the weekend to Club America, one of the giants of Mexican, an institution of Mexican football. And they view this game as a rebound, an easy prey to cleanse their wounds and move forward. So as an Orlando City fan, I want to make it hard for them. I really do. Now, I was impressed by, to be honest with you, by the fact that our players managed the pressure very well. The place was packed. A lot of friends had the opportunity to go experience that. Jealous. I wish I could have gone. And the City fans were very, very nice, very respectful, very welcoming. And that's the beauty of the sport. A lot of people visited a beautiful city like Monterrey, and to me, that's the accents, the beauty of our sport, our league, that is going to give us opportunities to meet other fans in other countries, in other parts of North America, and hopefully this will be this is not going to be the last time that we're going to get to experience that. After Tigres, we went out to DC United. Of course, all eyes on the Rooney curse. And let's start with you, Jonathan.
Yeah.
We have seen the video 1,000 times. Stefano Pino was fouled. Everybody knows that. Impressions about or expectations about Orlando City heading out to DC.
So I've a lot of us, and I'll even say that it's tough for a team when you come from such a hard-fought match with so much short time. The expectation somewhat kind of gets low because you're okay. Well, I gotta come back for the next round of the Champions League. The way I think of it is that that's not really an excuse though, because we play for everything. If we're going to consider ourselves a top team, if we're going to say, we're going to beat our chest and say, we're going to finish in second place in, the Eastern Conference, you play for everything.
Yeah.
I know, what was it? Seattle had a major struggle when they were in the Champions League, and they made it to the final, and obviously we saw a lot of sacrifice in the league. Obviously, times have changed now. The league, has inherited the idea that more teams can get into the playoffs. So if Poppy's trying to say, look, I'm going to focus more on the Champions League at the moment, I'll come back to the league a little bit later, fine. But, for a fan base that really needs that revival and needs that like oomph to come back and bring the fans back, you play for everything. And the curse of Wayne Rooney is huge. I mean, it's on everything. I mean, anytime that we're about to play him, or anytime it's a top goal from MLS, they always show it, and it's like salt in the wound. It's like, okay, we get it. But this is a new Orlando City. This is a much better Orlando City than it was in the past, and we need to come in with those expectations presented in front of us that we can do this. And it's okay that we got a 1-1. It's good that we finally scored again.
The run of play,
especially in a run of play for the first time for the season. It shouldn't have taken this long, but I'm not happy with the result. I'm not upset with the result. I'm like in that very fine middle. It's like, all right, but we better do well next week if we did that. So we got to come back and beat Tigres with what we just did.
No, absolutely.
But yeah.
John, so we go out to DC United with a rotated squad. Were you concerned at any moment about the rotation?
I mean, 100%. It was brought up on the bases after the match. EPL teams do that have just as vigorous, if not more vigorous, of a schedule than we do. They don't really rotate their squads. They might after the they might get through the stretch and then rest a couple players here, a couple players there. They're rotating virtually the whole squad, and to me, it just comes down to the fact, to go off what Jonathan was saying. Why are you out there playing? What's the play to win the game? I'm not trying to be words here, but that's why the professional athletes are competitive. They're there to play. And when they just show up and kind of haphazardly knock the ball around and hope to get a goal here and hopefully Gillespie stands on his head, I mean, I'm honestly sick and tired of it. I feel like Saturday is a crucial match. It's been a year and a half, 2 years of hoping Gillespie stands on his head and we come out with a result. This is way of a team to have points through 3 matches. Maybe we'll look back at this and DC will be top, one of the, right there at the top of the league. Cincinnati's playing well. Maybe we'll look back, hopefully, in August. Those draws weren't actually that best case scenario there. We still have to go out and try to win the game,
Absolutely. You got to play to win the game. Yeah.
Have to get later.
No, I agree with you, John. Absolutely. We have to play to win the game. We have to play attractive football. And right now we find ourselves 7th with 5 points. What separates us from first place Atlanta is 2 points. So early in the season, and just like Jonathan said, with basically 9 clubs making the postseason, we can sit back, take some kicks to the chin. And while we go through this is not extraordinary or unusual. We have seen a lot of clubs, they go to CCL, they have slow starts. Once they're done with it, it's all meat on the grill for the league. Let's go to some comments here real quick. We have the notable Vamos Orlando. Thank you, sir. David Hunt, Vamos always. And last, E. Tromic, just found your pod last week. So happy to see David still going ham. Listen, it's going to take an act of Congress for me to go away. I'm always going to be there for you. If I may blow my own horn, I'm an institution in this fan base. Only death can separate me from this club. I intend to take my last breath in my seat. That's a promise to you. Um, and so to close about DC, actually, I would like to touch with you guys some of the moments that I felt were important. And so let me quickly go here. I think this is what saved the result. This is Pedro Galesi with an incredible, an incredible save. That's all I can say. Save. Any other keeper does not stop that one. And I would like to show you the goal where Duncan Maguire, NCAA Player of the Year 2022, opens his bank account. And I would like for all of us to discuss this goal. So let me go ahead and show it. Boom. All right. So the Duncan Maguire opens the his account with Orlando City. And I felt that it was great soccer or football IQ from him to recognize that their initial cross he missed it because it was way too high. Fortunately, Dagger Dan, or DDT, as our friend Eddie Cruz from Orlando Lions Den podcast has baptized him. I really like that. DDT basically grabbed the ball, took a quick glance, put it on the second post, and there he was, Duncan Maguire to put it in. I think it was a very smart goal. I don't think somebody else would have managed to do that, and that's what it takes. We need people that have a nose for goal and that just go out there to win these games. Let's start with you, John. What you felt about the goal? And I think, yeah, John is buffering. So Jonathan,
Yeah.
John, back. John, what your impressions about the goal by Duncan Maguire?
Good service. Coming across, we finally had somebody. Twice far post. Um, see a lot of that last year at all. Whether you refer to it as a bit of skill or a bit of luck remains to be seen as Maguire goes on. If he's consistently there, good for him. Goal in the run of play is never a negative, especially this season when we can't score to pull out a win, and luckily we did. We should have been down 2-3, possibly nil at that point if it wasn't for Gillespie, but it got us the lead, and then Poppy was able to pull out a Poppy goal.
Jonathan?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's good that Dagger Dan, got into the right position. I mean, that takes some real soccer intellect to realize where the ball is coming from and what space he has available to him. So you can see that the goalkeeper is coming more towards Dagger Dan because he's realized that it's going far post. But Dagger Dan sees it, realizes it, and passes it back into the middle of the goal, and obviously lands at Duncan's feet. Uh, Whether intentional or not, it's the fact that Dagger Dan was able to recognize that in that moment, split second, to engage that and put that ball to where it is, and it got us the goal. It's excellent for Duncan to score the goal. It does take some soccer intellect to keep going and try and get to the post regardless. You may not know there's a rebound, any sort whatsoever. Whether he's in the right place or not, the goal stands. It's a goal. It gives us that initiative to keep going. Happy for the kid. He was playing really well. I mean, there's a lot of things that I see that there's some real raw talent that I think his ceiling is much higher. than
Mm-hmm.
what is being presented. I'm not saying he's the next Daryl DK or any of that, but there is some real talent that we can really grab at Duncan and go for it. And it's a great team goal. It really is. I mean, Holiday, who did the cross. I mean, there's so little bit of working pieces that all kind of clicked together, and I hope to see that more in the future with this team because those little moments are going to turn into big moments, and I can see this happening more often. It's a great goal. I'm happy for him.
No, absolutely. And before we go to the next comment, for the benefit of our friends that are on audio, I would like to remind everybody that we can be found on all social media on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, as at in 90 minutes underscore pod. And on Facebook, we are as in 90 minutes podcast. So please give us a follow. And if you subscribe, if you are listening to us in audio to your favorite app, and also if you're on YouTube, please give us the thumbs up and the subscription. The subscription helps us out because if we reach, we can monetize the channel. It can cover the cost of broadcasting on a weekly basis. I've been honest with everybody. We're not here to make any money. We just want to make sure that we can cover the cost of providing you this content, and we don't have to lie to our spouses, telling them that we have gambling and drug addiction problems because they're probably wondering where is this money going to. So, well, I can't tell my wife that that is for more football. She will get mad. So, guys, here's this comment here. Is from William Aguilar. Thank you, sir. Besides the penalty at the opener, I haven't seen much from Facundo. Last season, he was the student and the team was the backpack. Wish we could awaken the beast. We have Thomas. We can't keep relying on Galeza being a miracle worker, praying we get one goal every week. Vamos Orlando finally got that goal, non PK. I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
And Purple Viking 06. I feel like Facundo keeps turning inside on his runs, which is killing the momentum at the moment. I gotta tell you one thing about Facundo Torres that has been brought up by several people, and that is the fact that the fact that they feel that the style of play that we're having is taken away from his skill set, and there's maybe a little bit of frustration. I agree at the fact that our football is a little bit predictable and conservative, and we need to score goals. And listen, um, if you want to be told everything is awesome, everything is great when you're part of a team, there's podcasts for that. There's podcasts for that that are safe, that are sanitized. They're gonna tell you everything's great. They're gonna put you to bed. They're gonna tuck you in. They're gonna give you warm milk, and they're gonna tell you stories about gumdrops, unicorns, and goldfish. We're not gonna do that here. I can't do that. It's not my personality. This is the reason why I'm not over there with those guys. I can't do it. I can't. It goes against my nature. I told you guys, I'm a wild albino tiger. I'm unique. I cannot be contained. And we have to talk about this. And Jonathan asked me, "Hey, what are the parameters? What can I say?" And I said, "Dude, say whatever you want,
Yeah.
because the fans are hungry for people who are honest, and that's
Yep.
what we're doing tonight." And before I give the microphones to the gentlemen that are here with me, I have to say that if we're gonna bring new fans to the stadium, we have to play attractive, sexy football. That's what we have to do. And I'm tired of bringing up my overseas clubs because are the only examples that I have. My club Stevenage this past weekend went buck wild, and if you follow me on social media, I'll show you guys that bicycle kick that was a winner, and I couldn't be happier. Mind you, last year we were 7 games to go. We made a manager change. We were facing relegation to the National League. If you follow Welcome to Wrexham, you know how difficult it is to get out of that league. And now we're looking at promotion. with my club, Maccabi Haifa in Israel, we had a manager, and this is gonna sound familiar, that always took us to the playoffs, always took us to third on the table, but it was not enough. We made the change, and it's 3 championships in a row, and the UEFA Champions League. I mean, that's what it takes. Sometimes good enough is not good enough. So, John, are we in good hands? Are we happy with the results as of late? Can we do better?
Am I happy? No. I feel like if we don't put up 3 goals, at least 2 goals on Saturday, and win that match handedly, where else do we go? Charlotte is terrible. Charlotte is absolutely terrible. They're a dumpster fire this year. We traditionally are the team that the losing streaks end on, unfortunately.
Correct.
Everything we've been told by the front office, everything we know as hardcore soccer fans, on paper, we shouldn't this year anymore, and we should absolutely dominate against Charlotte. If we don't dominate against Charlotte, I don't care if it's a rotated squad or not. We have the depth this year to have a rotated and still win soccer matches and win the starting lineup we put out last year was starting lineup, in my opinion, the vast majority of games we had last season.
And again, we apologize. John is having some buffering issues.
Sorry, guys, my internet's
No. I understand. Don't worry about it, brother. It's live. Yep. and we're muscling through. Keep going.
It seems like we score 1 goal and then it's like everybody sit back, absorb the defense. A sponge can only absorb so much water until it's drowned, and that's been our Achilles heel the last 2 years. We don't just go for the win. Tiger Woods a good example. The dude had to be settled down because he wanted. That's the mentality I have. That's the mentality I feel like most of the fans want us to have, and that's the mentality professional athletes, in my opinion, should have, is to go for that jugular, if you will, and finish them off. No questions asked, win the game, move on to the next one. So, I feel like as early in the season as it is, Saturday's a must win. If not, we got to be looking somewhere else for leadership on this team.
Also, Jonathan.
Yeah. So, I like to look at sports and theatrical events, and you could even say WWE. People go to these games, people go to these events because they want to be entertained. When they're not being entertained, they'll sit at home and watch it on TV, and when they get bored, they'll change the channel.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people come to these games, not necessarily, obviously we all want to watch and us win all the time. But when you put out a performance like a 0-0 or a 1-1 and nothing looks attractive about it, nothing looks like gets you on your edge of your seat, and all you're doing instead is screaming at your own team, going, go up the field, keep going, and they're not, it makes you not want to go to the game. Now, I'm not saying I'm not going to go to the game. I'm a season ticket holder. I love coming to the game. This is my religion. But we have to capture the casuals. We have lost the casuals in this community. The hardcore fans are not going to leave. David, me, you, John, we're not leaving. You can't get us to leave. But we have lost the casuals. When we had the sold-out crowd on the home opener, the wall was filled. I haven't seen the wall filled in a long, long time, and banging the drums and screaming. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, what was it? It was one of the podcasts, or someone was saying that the DBS was so high, it was insane. We need that. And when you put out a 1-0 win because of a penalty kick, and how many shots on target? You're not going to get those people to come back. They're going to go, well, and then it's like, And then the Cincinnati game, that was, you could have fallen asleep watching that. There was nothing going on that made you want to jump out. The Tigres game is different. That made it entertaining, but wasn't it nice to watch? Maybe Orlando City did nice, but was it nice to watch Tigres play some really attractive soccer?
Absolutely.
Why can't we do that? We spent the money. Maybe not. I know Tigres spends a lot more because there's no budget. I mean, there's no
No
cap.
restrictions. Yeah.
There's no restrictions. But we can do that. We have the talent. We have the people. Why can't we do that? If we played the way they did, the stadium would be packed every time. And it's frustrating. If we do not win against Charlotte, and I'm not saying I want to see a 1-0 win. I want to see an absolute obliteration because
Exactly.
Charlotte is a dumpster fire. If we don't do something good and make it look fun, this fan base is going to turn very ugly. And if we lose against Tigres, knock on wood, we don't, but we don't do well against Charlotte, Poppy's in the hot seat again, in my opinion. And I like the guy. I think he's a nice dude. He's helped us a lot. I mean, where we were when JOC was here and where we are now, night and day. But maybe this is the end. I'm not saying it's the end of the chapter, but it's part of the book. It's part of being a manager. You got to keep going. And especially at your home game, you need to play attractive soccer. You don't want to play attractive soccer away? Fine. Whatever. But when you're home and this fan base is begging for people to come into this stadium, you need to play attractive soccer. There is no bunkering down after you score one goal in the 60th or 70th minute here. You keep going because not only is 3 points important, but the goal differential is extremely important. And
Jonathan, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
The last year, had Nashville stayed in the East, we would have been out of the playoffs on goal differentials against Miami. That's
exactly
that is critical. Before I give the microphone to John, I would like to read some of the tweets that Tactical Manager on Twitter had, and his handle is @manager_tactical. This is a guy who works for Orlando City as a part of the organization. He lives in Orlando City, self-proclaimed Orlando City fan, and he tweeted the following: Orlando City so far in 2023, 4 matches, 3 draws, 1 win, 2 goals scored and 1 allowed. 1-0 against Red Bulls, 0-0 against FCC, 0-0 with Tigres, 1-1 with DC United. One of the goals scored was of an iffy penalty kick. World-class terrorism. And he follows by calling us Orlando Band City. Listen, the fact is, to me, if you look at the game, it's just 22 men kicking the ball. We have to, where's the story? Where's the rivalry? Where's the desire? That's what keeps bringing people back. The reason why playing Atlanta in years past meant something was because Joseph Martinez. By the way, I have met Joseph Martinez personally. One of the nicest guys. What the persona that you see on the pitch is a character he plays. He plays the villain because he sells tickets. And it fills the seats. That's a fact. And, he does that masterfully. And Miami had gone that. I guarantee you this year's Florida Classico, Copa del Sol, whatever name they have it for it, I don't know. This year's derby is gonna be super spicy because to Miami it means something to win this game. So at the end of the day, we have, it's like Jonathan said, entertainment. John elaborated on that, and we have some polls. And while I look for them, John, if you want to add to what we have talked, I mean, I feel like we're beating on a dead horse, but either way.
Yeah. So I did some homework this weekend in preparation for the podcast, and with Poppy, because I said last time how Poppy's team struggled to score goals. His total as a head coach, as a manager, they average 1.5 goals per. It's not enough. I mean, yeah, he did some with Dallas doing that and everything. Today's MLS is different than it was 5, even 10 years ago. The skill's much better. We got much better younger talent. 5 goal game is not enough. The mark of 52 or 55 goals start is the most any of his teams have ever scored.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, this year, we're going to be lucky to hit 30 if we So, and the tactical thing, somebody I saw put in the comments about Fagu cutting inside. He's an inverted winger. That's what he does. I'm not blaming him because he is a fantastic player. There's a reason Arsenal's trying to recruit, trying to sign him from us. They're trying to protect him with a pretty good sell clause. The problem is you look up front, no matter who gets the ball in the middle, everybody just stands there. We get the ball 20 yards, that's at the box just sits there and stands. You don't see that on other teams. It's not a beautiful game for a reason because there's a flow to it. There's this guy cuts you, this guy takes his place. That never happens with us on offense.
No,
on
absolutely.
the attack. You'll see it go to the corner, everybody runs the net and hope for the best. So, and to me, that's a system thing. It was that way last year. Luckily, year before that, we had incredible cut in. He could bangers from 30 yards, and we, lucky to have him. He was an incredible player for us. Saved our butt a lot of time. Anybody that's near the class of Nani. Faku might get there, but he's still young. He's 23. So the season better like Nani was. So I thing that's clear more to me than ever that it is a system thing, that our guys aren't being told the right things to do, attack, whatever reason. Poppy's a great man, like Jonathan said. He got us to this point, but a manager copying basically what he said, but this is a fact, needs to get you to that next level. If he's not doing it, the next guy takes over.
No, absolutely. And we have another comment, Purple King 06. I'm not in the Fire Poppy camp whatsoever, as he brought us the stability we lacked for years. I do agree that he needs to hand over some power to the offensive coaching plan so we can push some. Next is William Aguilar. I'm not against Papi's person, but after so much time in Orlando, you would think he already figured out how to play with the players he got. Even if he had Messi, he will still be Orlando City. That's a good, clever. Next, Purple King 06, Orlando, no shots on goal. And last, Etromic, pains me to see newcomer STL sitting on max points and leading the league in goals. And that's absolutely right. You know what actually pains me the most is that when STL came in, they never used us for consultation. They saw it as a failure and something not to repeat.
Yeah.
And that's very painful from an Orlando City standpoint. So I'm gonna go ahead and share the polls. Let me get rid of this banner real quick, and we're gonna go to the I'm gonna share my screen here, guys. So we'll go ahead and we're gonna go to the results. And I know for the people in audio, they probably are like, wow, this is incredible podcasting. So they can see what I'm doing. But okay, here we go. So the question was, is the low scoring a problem? And the options were, we need time, which was 48.3%. Yes, 48.3%, and no, 3.4%. All right, so let me go back to the other question.
That's incredible.
And the other question was, is the system a problem? Can we win a championship with Papi specials? And the results were 41.7% yes, 58.3% no. So the fans know. The fans already can tell you. If you guys saw the reactions for after the game, after FC Cincinnati, with our friends at OC Fan TV, John and I went out there to talk to the guys. I got the chance to see the end result, the end product, and it was just a constant. What's going on with Kara? And the last question was, who is your number 9 of choice? 18.2% chose Kara, Enrique 65.9%, and 15.9% for Maguire. And Friends, the fact is that the fan base understands there's a disconnect in our attack, and that Kara may not be it. I'm not gonna utilize the opportunity to attack a guy that is super talented. I mean, he has something that I can't do. That's the reason why I'm an engineer and not a professional footballer. But perhaps the system is not suited for his skill set. And it's something that perhaps we need to come to a conclusion. I think summertime, to wrap this controversy, it's going to be a time where we need to view where we are. I can tell you from my experience seeing the Will family and their association with the North American Jewish Federation is that those guys don't take failure for an answer. They have a high expectation of what needs to happen, and I have said it in this podcast before because I lived with someone, my father-in-law, a person who the Holocaust touched personally, and these are people that don't accept failure and don't accept excuses. They're very difficult people to live with. And Mark and Leonard and Ziggy lived with parents that survived the Holocaust, that lost their spouses, lost their children to tragedy, came to this country penniless, built a $5 billion fortune, and they're difficult people to work for because their expectation is up here, for good or bad. And I appreciate the fact that Mark was walking around the stadium on the first game of the season. I would have loved the opportunity to shake hands with him, but I mean, he was under some heavy security. But the fact that the guy wants to get the feel from us, that to me, that's incredible. Oscar Pareja has been given the tools, and Oscar Pareja has to deliver. And I think he will be the first one to tell you that it starts and ends with him. So, last thoughts about this, guys, before we move on to the next subject. Let's go with you, Jonathan.
Just for the record, I'm not a Poppy out, not yet. I just putting that out there. But we have, like you said, we have an expectation, and I've had the pleasure to meet Mark once. And the fact that the owner is walking around the stadium, checking on everything, and really is engaged with the fans, and I mean, showing up. I mean, how many times did we see the previous owners really show up and really engage? This
True.
guy wants this to work. He wants it to be successful. This is his child. He wants it to succeed, and they're putting all their money on the table and trying to get this to work. Poppy has the tools. Does he have the time? That's a different question. But there are things that we can do to improve, and I think Poppy has the tools to continue moving forward. We haven't lost yet, so there's no reason to go Poppy out yet. But we got to do better. We have to start scoring goals. We have to play attractive soccer. It's not even a matter if we lost the game. Was it entertaining? Was it a nail biter? Is it something that you want to come back and watch? That's what we need, because those people, those casuals who come back and watch if Poppy can do it, is going to get people in the fans into the stands, which means more money for the Wolves, which means more money that we can put into our players. Can the team win with Poppy specials? It can happen, but it's not entertaining, and it's going to be very tough. And like it was in the comments, and I think we all think about it. Can we really keep asking Pedro to keep bailing us out week after week after week after week? I don't think so. But I'm glad that he's here, because I know a lot of people said they were okay losing him, and I couldn't be more upset with that comment, because we need him desperately.
Absolutely, John.
Yeah, he's Jonathan's right. They got to do better. Like I said, Saturday's kind of a make or break for me. I've already marked it on the calendar. After this past Saturday, I was kind of easy going last week, and then after Saturday, we had to defend for 20, 25 minutes. And that's just not attainable. Gillespie's not going to continue to do this. No keeper can. If he does, it'll be worldwide the greatest keeper performance of an entire season if he keeps us up.
No, no, absolutely.
So we got to do better. We got to start scoring goals. We got to start winning games. The time of 1-0, 2-1 victories is over. The players, as the players have progressed past that, we need as a club to progress past that, whatever that means. Going.
All right. So for folks in audio, we're continue to have buffering problems. But no, John. I mean, I agree with you. I think at the end of the day, we can all think that we just want to do better. We want to be entertaining, and we want to be a winning team. We're gonna go ahead and move on to what's gonna happen this Wednesday at 6:55 West Church Street, 8:15 p.m. Orlando time. All roads, and I repeat, all roads lead to 6:55 West Church Street, Exploria Stadium, where Tigres is coming in. Tigres is bringing their faithful, okay? And we took some fans to Monterrey. That was fantastic. But they are bringing 3 times as many. They are coming with their drums. They're coming with their music. They're coming. They're coming to win. And it's gonna be a steep battle for us. I have to tell you, it meant to me so much. I configure my work week around this event. Right now, I find myself in Pensacola, Florida, and I plan to be Wednesday morning in Gainesville, and immediately after I'm finished, I'm heading out to 655 West Church Street because my Lions need me, and I hope that you can do the same. We can wish big things. We can wish winners, hardware. If we're not willing to do our part, showing up is going to do wonders. Imagine if you're an Orlando City player and you walk out that tunnel and all you hear is Tigres fans. It's gonna be demoralizing. So I hope that you are there. Again, we have to win the game, or the game has to finish 0-0 and go to PK rounds in order for us to advance. Tying the game is futile. We lose if that happens. So it's gonna be an important game. I know their big player, the Frenchman whose name escapes me right now, is COVID denier. He chooses not to be vaccinated like the rest of us. I work in healthcare. I've been doing that for 20 years, and vaccines do work. That's my personal and professional opinion as a former EMT and as a biomedical engineer. And he chooses not to, so he's going to be hurting his team in the process. We got to exploit that opportunity, in my opinion, and we got to go out there and play to win for the fans, because I think that it's time for the players. I know many of them are new to understand the games that matter. And this game matters. This game is big because in order for us to get here, we had to win. We had to win the Open Cup, which was a game, a tournament where nothing was given to us. Yes, we play all the games at home, but that wasn't our choosing. It was just the luck of the draw. But at the same time, there was many occasions, at least 3 that I can think of, where we almost got eliminated and we pulled through. And I just hope that the boys understand that as they step on the pitch. Jonathan, let's start with you. We already discussed all the technicality of the game and all that, but what does this mean to you when we are finally having a game of this magnitude against a rival of this caliber?
So, before I was an Orlando City fan, I'm a diehard Madrid fan. I've been following Madrid since Zidane played when he was a player. Watching the Champions League in Europe has always been a dream to go to. Any Champions League, because this is it. I mean, this is the magnitude of what it means to represent your club, to go to that level instead of inside your domestic is crazy. So for me, this is going to be like my rite of passage as a soccer fan. is
Mhm.
to go experience a Champions League. I didn't get a chance to go to the Open Cup final. My grandmother had passed away at the time, and I
No,
wasn't
sir.
able to. It's okay. I appreciate it. When I went to go try and catch the playoffs finally, in our first ever playoffs, I caught COVID, so I couldn't even go see that. So I missed all our extra stuff. But I get to finally go to the Champions League and watch this team play. And I'm going to be in the wall, hopefully on the capo stand, chanting and cheering our hearts out, because I've been a season ticket holder since 2020. I've been a fan since 2017, coming to the games and living for it. I mean, look how far we've come. Look where we are. I mean, we won the Open Cup, and now we get to come and do the Champions League and play against a team that has a lot of history, and we
Mhm.
get to play them in a do it all, leave it all on the field. There's no second chances. You got to get it done here. It sucks that if they score on us, it's the aggregate, it's like the old UEFA aggregate rule, which is fine. But if we can beat this team, and I think we can, if
I
we
agree.
beat this team, this is going to show up all the haters. Everyone outside the fan base. Inside the fan base is different. We can all bicker. We can all have our own discussions. But this is going to stop everyone from talking bad about us. And they're going to say this is a real team. This is a team that can go the distance. And if you're not excited, I think you're crazy. If you're a fan of this club, you should be at this stadium if you have the ability to get there. I'm not saying, obviously finances or whatever is going on in your life, but if you have the
Yeah.
accessibility, you get to this. I mean, I know you stopped your thing to make it work, to come down. I've stopped I shut down my business early on Wednesday to be there early at the tailgate. This is important. This is huge, and this means a lot. This is all the blood, sweat, and tears the players have done. This is all the tears and emotions and the jolts and the heartbreaks and the heartbeat that we have as fans to watch this team. I want this team to come out swinging. I want to come out swinging. I want this to be the most exciting thing possible, and I have a full feeling it will be. And this means everything to me. This is just there's going to be a lot of emotions for me when I get there. I'm so happy we're here.
Can't agree anymore, Jonathan. John.
Yeah, man. I mean, this is with you, I've been following this team for quite a while. Um, Jonathan said where we were 4 years ago. I never dreamt of this. Watching the other teams playing it, being like, man, just one day, just one match, and it's here. I hope that we're sitting there in about the 75th, 85th minute, saying, can you take your, and literally, hopefully, that's the way it is. Tickets look like they're selling good. It's up to us to go up, make noise. I already, my boss at work, hey, I'll be here in physical form only. My voice for sure. So the team shows up. I hope we just go at it. Just go at it. Leave nothing to chance. I'm not saying sell out offense, but leave nothing to chance. Put all the pieces on the table. This is the one. Beat them Wednesday night. The rest of the road is easier. This, in my opinion, is the toughest team in the Champions League. They're out for a revenge. They didn't make it to the final last year. They felt like they should have been in the final of the champion last year. They're out for revenge. We're the new kids on the block as Champions League go. Let's show we belong here. We made that half a step by getting a draw at their place. Let's take that full step this week. Bring home a win, advance them, and get even more respect for our club. Show them that we win the Open Cup, which they, for some reason, we don't have every top team in the East last year. But they're saying we don't deserve to go play the low. Guess what? They had to beat MLS clubs too. So the cards, whatever you want to call it, we deserve to be here. The fans deserve an all-out effort from the boys and all-out churches, and we deserve a win. And we're not going to accept anything last Wednesday night.
No, absolutely. And let me read some comments before we go to our last topic. And Jim D, everyone is too defensive minded. Nobody wants to turn the ball over or be cut upfield to our detriment. I agree. Purple Viking 06, I'll be there. Can't wait, guys. Absolutely. We have to be there. We have to support the Lions. Jim D, I managed to get Thursday off and requested to be out by 4 o'clock, 1600 on Wednesday. Let's go. We need to come out and play and shock them early. Can't agree more. Listen, friends. Just like I believe Jonathan or John mentioned the fact that sometimes the financials are not there. I admit that financially, my wife and I are in a place where we can finally say that we're comfortable after years of living paycheck to paycheck and in hardships. I can tell you, I can't tell you how tough it has been for us over the years to get our family started and move forward. But if you can't make it, please do. We gotta support the Lions. We gotta be there for the boys this coming on Wednesday. So if you can, please be there. Let me read these two other comments, and we're gonna conclude this topic. Let's see here. GOCRDVA exclamation point. Our playing style is so boring. No creativity on the attack. And if I don't know if you just joined us, but we have discussed that in the first half of the show. And this is a matter for our manager to discuss with the players. I believe we have the potential, we have the talent, we have the managerial talent, and we have to figure out a way to win. And I want to thank the 13 people that are with us live, and all those of you who will be consuming this on audio or on YouTube later on. Thank you very much. I know that we are not your typical podcast. We just basically say things how it is. I believe that you deserve that much respect. 14, another person has joined us. Thank you very much. So guys, Charlotte at home. And if I can go ahead over the history of the club or our matches. First time we faced them was in April 30th of last year, which was a 2-win victory at home. By the way, this game was chronicled by a great English podcaster, Elliot Platten. I'm sorry, Ellis Platten of Away Days channel. Go ahead and check it out. He recorded the episode from the perspective of an English fan who has been everywhere in the pyramid, in England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland, Northern Ireland, Europe, and he decided to come and check us out. And I think he did a great service to the league and to our club, showcase us in a very good light. And the last time we faced them was away at their home, and we won 2-1 in Charlotte. And that was August of last year. So as it stands, 2 wins for Orlando, 0 draws, 0 wins for Charlotte. Charlotte right now, friends, is having a moment. They have lost all the games that have played. They have a -6 goal differential. Last year, when their original manager was interviewed, he said, "Hey, we, when we finish the roster, we'll let you know how we are." But he said it in Spanish, and in the translation that they gave it was, "We're screwed." But if you speak Spanish, you know that the word he used was runs with trucked when he described the attitude and the place where the team was. They fire him, and thinking that that was going to be the magic pill, and they failed to make playoffs. And this year they're having a horrendous season. But like John, I think John said it before we started recording. We tend to be the what the doctor prescribe to teams that are having a bad season. Let's start with you, John. Let's start with that. Are we the team that is going to manage to surrender points to Charlotte for the first time this year.
Unless we see improvement, like we've said this entire podcast, probably not. We shouldn't. We shouldn't 100% should absolutely dominate this game. It should be a 3-0, 4-0 final score. There's zero for us to give up any points whatsoever. I mean, hate being short, but it's that plain and simple to me.
Absolutely. Jonathan.
Look, this team needs it. This team needs to win. There's no question about it. A draw is not acceptable. Not against this team. If it was any other team, I would say maybe okay, fine. Not against Charlotte. This fan base cannot handle a loss against Charlotte. And a draw would probably make some people angry. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you got to come out swinging. If we do lose, like what Jim D is saying,
Mm-hmm.
he said that he would take a 3-4 loss over the Poppy Special. I agree. I want to see some goals. I want to be able to chant. I want to see purple smoke in the air. I want to see us score. This team needs to score, and there's no excuse for it. I've talked to quite a couple people on other Discords that they're on the fence with Poppy. They go, well, there's a lot going on, and I agree. I mean, we have Champions League, we got league match, we're gonna have the Leagues Cup, and we're gonna have Open Cup. So that's 4 competitions we're gonna be in, unless something has changed that I'm unaware of. But the fact is that we need every point we can get, and especially at home. This fan base needs a win at home, and I expect us to get the win with Tigres. But this team needs to obliterate Charlotte, just an absolute obliteration, because it will revitalize and definitely take pressure off of Poppy in the hot seat that we scored.
Absolutely.
I expect Kara to put out some goals if he gets called up. I know he's getting a lot of heat. I don't agree with the heat that he gets. That's another conversation for another time if we have it. But this team and this attack needs to come together, because the defense and our goalkeeper, Pedro, are putting in the work. It's time for the midfield, the attacking part of it, and our strikers to step up. Period.
No, absolutely. Let me go ahead and read Jim D's comment. I don't even care if we lose the Charlotte match, as long as we try to develop our attack. I will take a 3-4 loss over a Pappy Special. I just want to see progress. And Jim, that's something that is shared across the fan base. I think, guys, we have said it over and over and over for the past hour that we have to score, that we have to win games. So absolutely, we are expecting a win. I think that goes without saying. Also, when it comes to the CCL, for us to be in it, there's a prestige, there's money, and I hope that the guys understand that this is critical. It will be a disservice to the men that won us that trophy that are not here to enjoy going to CCL. There's a lot of guys that for one reason or another have moved on. They left this legacy, and we need to be good caretakers of it. I would like to, before we go, I would like to talk about some news. And this is from a account on Twitter, Embajadores de Fútbol, out of Uruguay. Embajadores de Gol, I'm sorry. Goal ambassadors. And in the picture is Christopher Acuña. And I'll translate the tweet. Christopher Acuña was presented as the new player of Orlando City B. I have to make that very well known. He's coming on loan for a season with an option of purchase, and he's coming from Montevideo City Torque, which is the affiliate of the Manchester City group in Uruguay. The last year that Facundo Torres was in Uruguay, uh, Manchester City group managed to win the championship on every country they were in except one, Uruguay, which Peñarol won that one. So he says here he's gonna be he's gonna be in the team with Facu Torres, Cesar Araujo, Mauricio Pereira. In Uruguay, guys, the Orlando City and MLS has gained a lot of popularity as of late. They're talking about it on the shows. ESPN Uruguay has dedicated time to it. Anytime these guys are making anything noteworthy, I've spoken on the radio. I actually had talked to Jorge Torres, Facundo Torres' dad, and he's still in Uruguay at the moment. And he was saying that the perception has changed from the retirement league to a competitive league. And one of the things that has been a positive has been the Apple Plus deal, where now all the games are available throughout the world. So Uruguayans that are willing to pay, of course, are having the opportunity to watch these games and are having the opportunity to see their Uruguayan product in MLS, not only with our team but with others, and they're very excited. Last year, 2 years ago, I had the opportunity to watch OCB games at Osceola County Stadium, our academy as well. If you have followed me for years, you know that I'm very high on some of the talent that we have at OCB and our academy. And I am one of the few people that have paid to go see OCB, and I'm very hopeful. OCB has been on the down low right now. There's not heavy expectations on it, but OCB this year has decided to go and get some players from Latin America that they feel very strongly that can contribute to the first team, and hopefully those guys will do so. Gentlemen, anything to add about OCB? Let's go with you, Jonathan, and then John, and then we're gonna have our final word.
Yeah. So, it's nice to see that the pipeline is coming back. The pipeline is going to bring us revenue into the for the club for those we sell. I've been keeping up a little bit with the MLS next. I think it looks like it's a much better system compared to what we were in before. Like I said, the pipeline's going to be big because if we have to, we can grab people from there if needed. But it also gives us an idea of how we can integrate them into our system for when they do get promoted up to the senior level. I can only say from what I've heard, there is a good potential for this B-side to really start making a good name for itself. We've kind of watched them do it a little bit last time. But it's exciting, and I would, if you're interested in following, the youth system and what we're trying to produce in OCB, I definitely would give them a look. I know they're trying to do some stuff like to get fans to come in and watch them if they have the ability, but overall, it's exciting stuff, really is, and that pipeline is going to be our future. It's going to be a future for revenue. It's going to be a future for potentially putting people into that position. Look at William. Look what he's done. I mean, he may not be playing as much now, but when we needed him last year, he stepped up, and I think for what his age is and all that stuff, you can't ask for more. But that's a product of what the academy is doing, and then it pushes on to OCB, and then it comes up to us for the senior level. And these are little stepping stones which can be done. And I'm going to touch one last thing. Oscar and his team developed a really good academy in Dallas. And those guys who you see in Europe, like in the Bundesliga and Serie A, La Liga, and the English Premier League, even the Portuguese League, those kids, they're coming from the Dallas Academy. We've seen some of them, and that could be us, and that can be us next, and I'm excited for it.
John?
Yeah, our academy is looking up. I think last year we had 3 players from our academy make their U17 national team appearance. One of them is a goalkeeper that is very impressive. I can't think of his name off the top of my head right now, but I see how you follow a member of the family on Twitter. They're always putting updates and everything from him. He's very impressive. That's something a good football club has, is a strong academy that feeds into their senior team. Eventually, it takes time, takes patience. Look at Philadelphia, what they've done with the Aaronsons and with some of the other players that they have in there. New York Red Bulls have had several players come up through their system. So, teams that have been around for as far as MLS standards quite some time, it's our job, or the club's job, to catch up with them. And once the academy gets rolling, the senior team usually gets rolling, and then it gets really fun because you can have, 14, 15 years old, see come up, play for the senior team, and then make a name for themselves. Either stay home and stay with the club, which I would love, because with the MLS head, all the critical rules and financials get taken away or changed, or the guys over a name for themselves over there. So I try to keep an eye on it as much as I can. Unfortunately, as they play nights, it's kind of hard to get out to OCB's games and stuff. And it's fun to keep track of if you're a huge fan or just a casual fan of this club, because it's really the future of the club.
No, absolutely. And we have one last comment here, and it is from Purple Viking 06. Final word: score. Let's attack the net. Can't agree more. And I want to thank everybody for joining us this week. I would like to remind everybody again, we are at in 90 minutes _pod on YouTube, on Twitter, on TikTok, also at as in 90 minutes podcast on Facebook. Please subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up. That helps us out. The thumbs up, all it means is that you approve that this content is good and it's going to be interesting to other Orlando City fans. This way, other Orlando City fans will get to watch us. Tell your friends that we just want to make this big carpet with this big tent, I should say. Have everybody on there. There's a lot of podcasts out there. We're not going to compete with anybody. We just basically want to just have another venue for us to cover the club. And Jonathan, where can we find you on the internets?
Yeah, so you can find me at Redner OCSC on Twitter. I am also Red Star X as your moderator in Orlando City, the ROC Lions. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Great. John, where can we find you on the internets?
Find me on Twitter at thatboy. And do follow us on Twitter. We do have a link in our bio. It's a link tree. You can open that. All of our socials. We haven't added Facebook yet, but that's coming this week. But all of our socials, where to watch it, where to listen to it, everything on that link tree. Click to it. You can subscribe to the link tree so you get a notification when content is put up. You can also watch our most recent episode on there, listen to the most recent episodes on there. So everything's on there for you guys to, if you can't remember exactly how to spell something, you have Twitter, find us on Twitter, go in our link tree, and you can just follow all of our socials through that.
No, absolutely, my friend. I would like to thank the 14 people that joined us live tonight. Everybody that's going to watch us later on YouTube, everybody that's going to be listening to us on audio form, everybody that was on Twitter and Facebook, thank you very much. I can be found at Florida_man76. Thank you very much. Wednesday, please be there. Let's support the boys. And not only Wednesday, but Saturday as well, as we return to the league, searching the critical 3 points. And I would like to say goodbye to you, as we always do, letting you know that the game of football is not played on paper, but on grass. And whatever happens this Wednesday and this Saturday, we will find out in 90 minutes. From John, Jonathan, and myself, may God bless you. And as always, vamos Orlando.